Yeah, I mean, basically, what I hear is it's a way, and this is the way we use it, a way to have a relationship with friends, colleagues, followers, whatever you want to call them. And yeah, there's this a bit of a new paradigm to the Web 2.0 list, quote unquote list, but the email list is still kind of the prime thing because it's something that you still own the data. And yeah, to a degree, it's like, look, people are able to get the content and connect with you in the way that they want. That's just kind of like the consumer is more in control today with Facebook and Twitter and RSS subscriptions and all these kinds of things. But in the end, you got to get them back to your email list if you can, or at the very least, I mean, the way we look at it, it's like, look, if we can just get them on email and our Facebook, or Facebook, Twitter, and our podcast subscription, then at least if one of those goes away, you still are in contact with that person. I mean, that's an extremely important point that you bring up there.
It seems like it's still more easy to do commerce with people via email than it is through social media. I think they don't get as offended by it.
Yeah.
You know, if they join your email list and you go to sell them something later, they don't freak out as bad. And if because I don't really sell anything directly via social media, hardly ever. So the only way that I sell via social media is by sending my people to valuable content that happens to sell something.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only way. I'll send people to webinars. I'll send them to videos. I'll send them to good downloadable reports and stuff like that. But I don't send my people ever to direct sales messages ever, because I just don't think it's a place for it. You know, you wouldn't want to go into a party and try to sell a guy a watch in a party.
Yeah.
You know, hey, buddy, you want to buy a watch? Look, I got 15 on my wrist. Check it out. You just be a jerk. You would never want to do that. But people do it in social media every freaking day.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for following me. Do you want my crappy ebook? No, thanks, I don't. You know.
Yeah, I love those the direct messages you get back when you follow somebody and they're instantly buy something. You're like,
yeah.
Really?
Well, and you know what? That brings me a really good point. The other theory that I have, and it's a really kind of different theory. I've not heard many other people talk about it. I view everything I do with people, whether it's monetary or non-monetary, as a transaction. Because if I have a good non-monetary transaction with you, or a series of them, then you're more likely to do a monetary transaction with me someday.
Yeah.
You know, if I send you a piece of content and it's good, then that's like a mental checkbox in your head. Perry sent me something nice. That was cool.
Yeah.
Or if I say, hey, give me your email address and I'll send you this thing, and I do, and it's good, then there's a check mark in. Okay, yeah, Perry sent me something nice. That was cool. Check. We had a good transaction. I gave him my email address. He gave me some good crap. Right. So, you know, if the first transaction I have with you is you trying to get money out of me, it's probably not going to happen. If you decide I'm going to do the free stuff, and I'll get this free PLR dog shit ebook and give them this dog shit ebook for their email address, and then I've got them, you know. And the thing is, you know, you just can't polish a turd. It's still a turd. So the first transaction has just sucked, right? So the next transaction that you do with them, now you're going to come back to them and go, hey, you remember that transaction we did where I said, give me your email address and I'll give you something good, but instead of being good, it was a piece of shit? Well, now I'd like some of your money, but I've got something for you. You want to try that next? I'd like your money this time. How do you think that's going to go for you?
Yeah, that's not going to work out.
Not very well. So, you know, that if you view everything you do as a good transaction, is this a good transaction for people? If I tell them to go watch a video of Frank Kern's stuff, and he's talking for 45 minutes, and at the end he makes them an offer, you know, and it's good stuff, is that a good transaction? Yeah, probably so. They learned from the content. They had an opportunity to make an offer, and if they buy something from Frank, maybe I make a buck, right? And that's all cool. I think everybody's all right with that. It's just blatant sales pitches people just don't dig in social media. I'll make them crazy.
Yeah. There's definitely a right and a wrong way to use it. Now, for the brand new internet marketer who's listening to this, you know, and maybe they've got an idea of their niche and they've got a site up, and so now they're in either the product creation or traffic, kind of starting to get some traffic, building a bit of lists, getting things going. At what point should that person get into using social media? Is it something they could jump into right away, or is it like, well, wait until you've got a good amount of traffic coming, or and two questions. Should they get into it right away, and then when should they get into it? And then the second question is, well, what is that first thing an internet marketer can do to get started with and get results from social media?
Yeah, my answer is absolutely. It should be, if you're brand new and you don't have anything else going on, you don't have a product, you don't have a market, you don't know anything other than you want to make money in internet marketing, I'd say the number one thing you want to do is to start a social media presence. And the reason for that is you can start to see results. You can start to build an audience without a product, without an idea of a product, without anything. You can just start to meet people online who get to know you, like you, and trust you. Okay? And if you get enough people to follow you online in your social media platforms, or in your social media presence, then eventually you can go back to them, watch what they talk about, and eventually maybe just ask them what they want to buy. They'll tell you, hey, I'm thinking about coming out with a new product next month. I've done this before. Hey, I'm working on what I'm going to do for next month's product. I'm either going to do a product on list building, copywriting, or email marketing. What would you guys most be interested in? Well, here's a little survey, monkey survey. Wow, 78% of you said email marketing. Guess what I'm doing next month? It's real easy once you have that audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and people definitely want to tell you their opinion. That's the thing I've noticed the most on it.
And then they're vested. They're vested in the idea. They help to create it.
Yeah.
They have to buy it. There's a really good story out of I never say his name right, but Robert Cialdini, I think it is, the Influence of Psychology, Persuasion, the book. They went through a great book, by the way. They went to this neighborhood. He does all these social experiments. They went to a neighborhood. They knocked on the door and they said, hey, there are a lot of people driving through the neighborhood too fast. Would you put this 8-foot-long, 4-foot-tall sign in your front yard asking people to slow down? Most people said no, right? Like 90% of the people said no. Only 10% said yes. They didn't put the sign up anyway. It was an experiment. So then they went to every other house and they said, hey, there's a lot of people driving fast in the neighborhood, and we'd sure like to slow them down. Would you mind putting this little bitty sticker in your window just to show public awareness that people need to slow down? Well, like 80% of the people agreed to put the sticker in the window, right? All that makes sense. You could kind of expect both those things to happen. Here's what you couldn't expect to happen. They went back a couple weeks later to the people who had put the sticker in the window and said, hey, thanks for your support. We really appreciate your sticker in the window. People are starting to slow down a little bit in the neighborhood, but we really like to put this 4-foot by 8-foot sign up in your front yard.
Yeah.
Right? Almost half the people agreed to put the giant sign in their front yard.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Why? They bought into the idea.
Yep. They love that psychology stuff.
They bought into the idea when they put the sticker up. I mean, it's just like charitable organizations. They ask you to give $1 or $2, get this thing of stickers, and just send $1. Because they know that if you send $1 to the March of Dimes, you're 20 times, this is a charitable average, by the way, you're 20 times more likely to send them more money than they are somebody who hasn't sent them anything. 20 times. That's a crazy dynamic.
Yeah, wow.
Because you bought into the idea. Okay? So, anyway, so that's, I don't even know how that pertained to what we were talking about.
Well, yeah, we were talking.
I get off into, I'm like, I don't know where that's at, I must have, one of those brain cells I killed back many years ago, I was missing there. The synapses didn't fire.
Well, and actually, it had to do with, like, for instance, Twitter or Facebook, being able to ask the people in your niche. Yeah,
and once they, yeah, that's what thank you for bringing me full circle. But that's what it is. Once